Uncle Joe, he lived, of course, he was one that, he used to own part of Lead Hill, the biggest part of it. But anyway, when he was down on the, he'd go down on the river down there to hunt. But he was married, he took Cynthia, another, and he had her living in, right below where Mary grew up at. He had a cabin in the field down there that he kept her in. And but the Indians knew about it, and they didn't like it because he already had an Indian wife. And he brought one here with him. And so they would, they'd run him in if they could get to him, you know. And one day they like to got him. And so he threw down his gun, and while they was busy picking up his gun, he got away from them. But they were serious, they was really after him. He's a great, how many, but my grandpa, he's his oldest son, Grandpa Buck Coker. Buck came right after Joe did. And of course the Cokers married into the Trimbles. So I didn't realize the Cokers was kin to us for years. It's 200 years. They'll be celebrating that next year. And Uncle Joe's buried, Turnbow said Uncle Joe's was buried in that cemetery at Lead Hill, but he didn't have a stone. Said he gave them a church, he gave them a cemetery, and he told what all he gave them. But he was buried there without even a tombstone. He was by himself when he died. He had sent, the Cokers had slaves, I'm sorry to say, but the Trimbles didn't, but the Cokers did. And Uncle Joe had one left, and she run to get help when he was about to die. And by the time she got back, he was dead. So he was buried there in Lead Hill. He had lots of kids, and he had, they said, Turnbow wrote about him a lot. And he said Uncle Joe had some that were pretty wild. They were half-breeds, you know. They were pretty wild. And then he had some that went to the legislature and everything, said they were real smart, and they served time in the places like that then. So he did have a lot of kids.